Okay, so recording is started so that it can be uploaded later. Coming back to this. So data representation in computers. So this is what we are going to actually talk about in today's class. All of you know anyhow that any data that you want to store inside the system can be stored only in binary form. Right? Definitely we know that any kind of data that you want to store inside the computers will be stored in the form of binary form, that is only in terms of zeros and ones. That is in terms of zeros and ones. I don't know, still people are joining or what? Like that problem is there, right? So this is a very unnecessary disturbance every time somebody joins. Okay, so there may be some issues. All right. All right. So it's always stored in the form of zeros and ones. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be somehow happen. There are standards to store the information in terms of zeros and ones. And one of the standards must be accepted or must be used. For example, you want to store information about characters, character data you want to store. Right? For example, different data types, right? Different types, data types. And what is the standard there? Characters are normally stored in the form of a popular standard called ASCII standard. Characters are normally stored in the form ASCII standard. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for information interchange. So it's again later, it's basically 7-bit kind of thing. Right? So ASCII is a 7-bit version. Same characters later is also modified, and that is actually called as extended ASCII, which uses 8 bits. So when you use 7 bits, the total number of possible characters that one can represent, right? Number of characters that can be represented is 2 raised to the power 7, which is equal to 128 different possibilities are possible. 128 different characters can be represented. Out of them, you can easily say that 52 characters talk about alphabets, right? A to Z. 52 are letters. Then 10 symbols go for digits, right? 10 symbols for digits. Then what else do you require? Special symbols, special characters are there. Comma, semicolon, colon, slash, star, and all those related stuff. So that kind of stuff. So when you go for extended ASCII, you are using 8 bits. That means you will get 256 different characters can be represented. 256 different characters can be possible. So for example, internally, whenever you want to store internally the letter A, You want to store the letter A, for example. Capital A you are talking about. Capital A is represented differently. Small a is represented differently. Naturally, you different sequence of zeros and ones. Capital A is represented, right? Is represented as, actually this is 65 decimal. This is 65 decimal or 41 hexadecimal, right? 41 hexadecimal. Both are one and the same. Both are one and the same. Remember, we should be familiar with binary number representations and all that. I cannot go into those details at this stage. 41 hexadecimal is nothing but 41 is in hexadecimal notation. The radix is 16 there. So you want to convert hexadecimal to decimal, it is straightforward. 16 into 4 plus 1. 65 decimal. So A is represented like this. Capital B A is represented in this particular manner. B is actually represented as the next number that is available, right? 66 decimal or 42 hexadecimal. So like this it goes on continuously. C is going to be the next number and so on. It goes in that particular sequence right up to capital Z. In fact, all of you must remember, it's a good habit to remember the ASCII codes of some of the commonly used characters. Right? Similarly, small a is represented, small a in ASCII is, it is actually 61 decimal, 61 hexadecimal or 97 decimal or 61 hexadecimal. So in other words, small a ASCII value is bigger than capital A ASCII value. Sometimes you try to compare, right? Whenever you compare, internally it always compares the corresponding representation, the corresponding values. So when you compare small a with capital A, small a is 97, capital A is 65. So whether small a is greater than capital A, if one asks, is small a greater than capital A? It's nothing but E is 97 greater than 65. So naturally 97 is greater than 65. You say that like small a is greater than capital A. Right? So here again, all the consecutive letters, P is naturally represented. P is naturally represented in ASCII as a next value, 98. 98 is nothing but 62 hexadecimal. 16 times 6 is 96 plus 2 is 98. And so on, it goes on like that. C is going to be the next available thing, right? Small c is going to be the next available thing, and so on, small z. Similarly, that's why whenever you compare the names, alphabetical strings and all that, always whenever you want to sort the strings or sort the names, you will always get first the capital letter related stuff, and after that the small letters, because capital letter related things are smaller in value, and small letters are bigger in value. And then digits. So how do you represent the digit 0? Right? Digit 0 in ASCII is, it is actually 30 hexadecimal or 48 decimal. 48 decimal or 30 hexadecimal. So this is how the 0 is represented. Naturally, all the consecutive things are going to be used to represent the next values. Digit 1 is represented in ASCII as the next decimal value. 48 means 49. And here, instead of 30 hexadecimal, it's going to be 31 hexadecimal. And so on. It goes on like this. 9 is going to be represented as 9 in ASCII is. So this is going to be 39, right? 30 is 0, 31 is 1, 39. 39 means 16 3s are 48, 57, right? It should be 57 decimal. Or 39 hexadecimal. Like this, all the other characters also will be there, like special symbols, less than, greater than, and all that. Right? We can take a look into the corresponding, what we call ASCII chart. ASCII chart, you can see. You can see the ASCII chart here. Just simply type in ASCII chart like this. You can see. See there. So it's actually displaying so many things. Maybe any one any one of them, we can always use it. You see ASCII chart, standard and all that, extended, everything it is saying. Extended ASCII is later on. This is the actual thing. I'm just increasing the size of it so that is there anybody waiting there in the queue? I don't know, like here. All right, so let me go back to the ASCII chart here. This is the ASCII chart actually. You can very easily see here. All of you must try to actually remember these things. And it is not that difficult. As you can see here, the character 0 here, you can see character 0. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. 9 is this. Similarly, the ASCII 0. 0 is actually nothing but it's called as null value. You must have heard null character like that in C language. That null character is nothing but it is a character whose ASCII value is going to be all zeros. All 7-bit zeros or all 8-bit zeros is going to be that. Similarly, the ASCII value 1 is given to control A actually. We normally type control A, control B, control C like that. So even they also have the corresponding ASCII codes. All the control characters are given the initial ASCII values. 0 goes for null and all the remaining, the next 26 ASCII values, 1, 2, 3 and so on, right up to 26. They actually represent different control characters. Control A, control B, control C and so on like that. You should be able to easily remember. So 27 here and then another 26 alphabets, and then digits 0 to 9. Better to remember. And then space character is internally represented as 32 decimal or 20 hexadecimal. 20 hexadecimal. 32 decimal. In fact, the difference between lowercase and uppercase of anything, capital A is 65 decimal, small a is 97 decimal. What is the difference between 97 and 65? This is 32. So that is why if you want to get lowercase character of any given letter, simply add 32, you get the corresponding lowercase. You see here, capital F is represented as 70. You add 32 to this, you get 102, and you get the corresponding lowercase character. Right? So the difference between any character and its corresponding other case is always 32. And then escape character. Escape key is there normally at the end of it and so on. And that escape is given the next immediate ASCII value after all the control Z kind of thing. So 27 is escape character. Right? Escape is that. And then you have the special symbols, like as you can see, they start from space onwards. You have not, double quote, hash symbol, dollar. Dollar is actually 24 hexadecimal or 36 decimal. Dollar is that. Parentheses you have, and then operators like multiplication operators, plus, minus, star, all of them are readily available. So this is all about ASCII values. So all the characters are internally represented by using ASCII notation. Like this is the case with respect to all the languages, in fact. Whether it is Java, C language, C++, all those languages, they use the same notation called ASCII. Later, there is one more, like a recent phenomena, which is called as Unicode. Unicode characters we use to represent even the what we call natural language characters. So this ASCII is mostly confined to English language. You want to store, you want to represent natural languages like Telugu language or Hindi language. How do you want to store the characters of the natural languages? Then you go for Unicode, where they use actually 2 bytes. 2 bytes are going to be used there as a part of it. So that is about the character representations. And then coming to numbers, you want to store numbers there internally. Numbers. There are different types of numbers. One is integers. For example, integer data type. So these numbers, whether it is short integer, long integer, any of them, int normally occupies 32 bits. It uses 32 bits. And the name that we use to store numbers is called as it is called as two's complement notation. Two's complement notation. This is a very popular notation. Normally, all of you should be familiar with binary number representation. That is one thing. Two's complement is nothing but actually, for example, instead of going for 32 bits, let us understand how a two's complement notation is going to work. For example, just simply By using 8-bit 2's complement notation, let us try to understand what is meant by that. And then you can always extend the same logic to 32 bits or 64 bits. By using more number of bits, you can represent bigger and bigger values. By using more number of bits, you can represent bigger and bigger values. So first of all, like this 2's complement notation is useful to store both positive as well as negative values. Signed representation, right? You can say that it is used to represent signed numbers, right? Numbers. For example, you want to represent a number like, let us say 17. So whenever you are saying 17, then we should also specify how many bits are you going to use to represent a 2's complement notation. Initially, for the time being, we assume that 8 bits are going to be used. 8 bits are going to be used. So 17 here is nothing but 16 plus 1. So that means there should be a 1 in the 16th weight, and there should be a 1 in the 1th this thing. Right? So this is nothing but 16 plus 1, which can be represented as, for example, so there will be a 0 followed by 1. Let us say this 1 stands for 16th position. 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. So this is the actual number. How many bits have we used? 6 bits so far. Another 2 more bits you require. So 0 and 0. 0 and 0. Just for our clarity, let us actually group 4 bits each so that we can easily understand. Internally, there won't be any space. Right? So the actual number is like this. This is the 2's complement representation of 17. 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. And in all these cases, remember, most significant bit is going to be used to represent whether it is positive number or a negative number. 0, if 0 is present in the most significant bit, we understand that it is a positive number. 17 is a positive number. So to represent positive numbers, it is a simple binary representation of that particular number. For example, 20, 27, you want to represent. How do you write 27? 27 is nothing but 16 plus. We are actually representing in terms of powers. 16 plus 8 is 24, plus 2 plus 1 altogether. Right? So this is the number actually. So in other words, 0, 0, 0, 1. So that 1 is 16 actually, plus 8, 4 is not there, 2 is there, 1 is there. 1 is there like this. So this is a corresponding 2's complement notation of 27, plus 27. Right? Whereas you want to represent minus 17, let us say. You want to represent minus 17. Whenever it is a negative number, it is actually stored in 2's complement notation. 2's complement notation means first you write the corresponding what you call number as it is in binary form. Write down the number as it is in the binary form. So plus what you call 17 is this one, plus 17 is this. Whereas minus 17 means take the first 1's complement form. Take the 1's complement form. One's complement of any binary number is nothing but making every 0 to become 1, 1 to become 0. So 1's complement of the above is nothing but 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. This is the ones complement notation, right? So what is two's complement then? Two's complement is nothing but adding one to one's complement form. Just simply add 1 to the one's complement form. Whatever you get, that is your answer. So when you add 1 to the previous one, it's going to become, you are actually adding in terms of binary format. Like it should be like this. Right? You are adding 1 to that. So that means this is the actual representation. This is a this is how minus 17 is represented using 8 bits. Using 8 bits. So 1110 followed by 4 ones. If you want to represent the same thing by using 16 bits, let us say, instead of 8 bits, you want to represent here whose complement using 8 bits. Same thing now you want to repeat whose complement by using 16 bits, let us say. 16 bits. How are you going to do that? So that means minus 17. How do you represent minus 17? That is the question. Using 16 bits. First, we have to write down plus 17 is using 16 bits now. So that means already 8 bits we have used, 17 is there. That means another 16 bits, most significant ones, must be represented as this thing. So you say one more like this. This is the actual minus, like plus 17, strictly speaking. This one is plus 17. So this is actually plus 17. Using 16 bits. So what is the ones complement of that particular thing now? Ones complement of this must be represented as like this, and this one. Then what is the two's complement of this? Add 1 to that. That means like this. So this is the actual, like what you call two's complement is nothing but, this is nothing but minus 17. Minus 17. Here also, for clarity, if you want, you can always this thing. This is actually nothing but plus 17, whereas this is minus 17. I think you can easily now extend the same logic to 32-bit representation. You will get more number of bits, and most significant bits are likely to become ones there, right? Are likely to become ones there. So all of you are following like what we are actually doing. Now we should be able to represent minus 27 very easily, right? For example, minus 27 you want to represent. First thing that we have to do is how do you represent plus 27? Using 16 bits. Using 16 bits. Right? So we can copy the plus 627 here, whatever is there. This is the plus 27. Right? So most significant bits must be all like this. So this is how plus 27 is. And then we have to write down the ones complement of the same thing. Ones complement of the same thing. What is ones complement is nothing but make every 0 to become 1, every 1 to become 0. These are the notations actually. Zero, 1, 0, 0. Whatever is plus 27, you are converting every 0 to become 1, 1 to become 0. That is your ones complement. And then you want to find out what is twos complement. Add 1 to this. Add 1 to this. Naturally, this is going to be this. Adding 1 to that is nothing but 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So this is the minus 27 is represented in this particular manner. Minus 27 is represented like this, in this particular manner. If it is 32 bits, actually, instead of 16 now, you can easily understand. This is by using 16 bits. Same minus 27, whose complement, using 32 bits. So how it is going to be, right? You can easily like extend the logic, right? So another 16 more ones are going to come in the most significant bit position. Like this, like this, like this, like this. 16 more ones you will have in addition to what we already have. 0, 1, 0, 1. Right? This is the actual minus 27 using 32 bits. Internally, it's going to represent like this. Same thing sometimes for our proper understanding, instead of writing zeros and ones always, you can represent the same thing using hexadecimal notation. Internally, zeros and ones only. For our understanding, human consumption, we represent the same groups of 4 is going to be represented as hexadecimal. So 4 ones is actually represented as F actually. Another F. Right? So this is F here. This is one more F. Right? In hexadecimal, I am actually writing now. In hexadecimal, I am actually writing. This is also F. And this one is actually 15 in hexadecimal is F. Whereas that value 1110 is nothing but actually 14. 14 is nothing but capital E. E actually. And here 0101 is 1, 2, 4. 4 plus 1 is 5 actually. So this is 5 actually. This is 5. So in hexadecimal notation, minus 27 is represented as FF, 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 E5. Right? So this is how it is going to be represented. How is it going to be minus 17, for example? Minus 17 is going to be minus 17 okay. So it has gone to some other mode. So minus 17 using two's complement notation, using 32 bits. Is going to be two's complement there. You already have it. So most significant bits are going to be F as usual. Another F. F. Right. In addition to this, minus 17 is here. Here, this is the actual value. You have to convert. Like this is F, F, and then E followed by F. So F, F, E, F. F, F, E, and then F. So this is going to be minus 17 using 32 bits in 2's complement notation. We can verify all of them by an online system actually. You can easily verify all of that by using an online thing, or I don't know, like, okay. You have actually an online tool is there. Let me show you so that you can verify and you can practice while learning, in fact. So this is the actual thing. You can, if you want, you can make a note of this particular thing for practice later on. Or let me share it with you. The actual thing is this one. This is the one. https://www.binaryconvert.com/convert float. Not convert float. Float is not what we want. Just I think probably this should do. This must actually do it. Let me see binaryconvert.com. Let me show you here. So where it will take us without this last HTML part. Right. So this is the one. So in this, you can see how characters are represented, signed characters, short integers, floating point, and all that. Go through this. This is a rich experience actually. We are right now into integers, signed integers. So I'm just clicking on signed integer. And then decimal value, for example, is, let us say, 17, right? If it is 17, how is that it's going to be represented internally in? You can see here signed integer 32-bit 2's complement. 17 is represented by using how? Convert to binary. So this is how it is. Binary form is this particular thing. You can see here, this is the one. This is the binary equivalent, plus 17. And you can see very easily, so many zeros followed by 1, 3 zeros and 1. 1, 3 zeros followed by 1. So our answer also, plus 17 is this particular entity. This one. 1 followed by 3 zeros followed by 1. 1 followed by 3 zeros followed by 1. The same thing you can always represent. This is in hexadecimal. 0x, whenever you put 0x, that means this is in hexadecimal. So that's why each character here represents 4 bits. So all those things are there as a part of it. Now what we can do is one more conversion we want. You click on new conversion and you write down minus 17. How is minus 17 represented? Convert to binary. Minus 17 is represented in this particular fashion. As you can see, all ones, and then there is a 0 in this particular position. So in hexadecimal it is FF, 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 EF. What did we get for our minus 17? Minus 17 is nothing but this particular entity, our 32-bit version. This is our 32-bit version. Minus 17 is represented like this. Hexadecimal notation. FF, 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 EF. Similarly, minus 27, how is that is going to be represented, right? So you can verify your understanding. This tool is a very good tool to verify your understanding. minus 27. Convert to binary. So this is a binary representation. This is the hexadecimal representation. Hexadecimal is what? 0x, FF, 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 E5. What did we get? Wherever this thing, you can see FF, 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 E5 is your minus 27. So this is how, yes, go on.
Sir, I can't see your screen, sir.
You can't see your screen, my screen?
Yes, sir.
What do you see there?
It
Just a
visible,
S
sir.
letter.
Hello?
For me, visible, sir. I'm Suresh.
What do you see? Like, are you seeing binary
Binaries.
convert.com?
Binary new conversion. Yes.
Okay. So, chudamma mari, like, nothing is in my control. If at all somebody gets something, same thing is going to be like what it is, shared to all the other people. I don't have control to display something to one student, another thing to another student. So, probably, మీకు ఏమైండొచ్చు, వాట్ మైట్ బి ద ప్రాబ్లం? మీరు లైక్ ల్యాప్టాప్ వాడుతున్నారా లేకపోతే మొబైల్ వాడుతున్నారా?
మొబైల్, సార్.
మొబైల్లో ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే ఇవన్నీ కనిపించవు, కష్టం. ప్రాబబ్లీ మీకు కనిపిస్తోందేమో, బట్ చాలా స్మాల్ గా ఉన్నాయి.
కానీ ఇంతసేపటి దాకా కనిపించింది, సార్.
అవునా? ఓకే. అంటే ఒకసారి రీసెట్ చేసుకో. మేబీ ఇట్స్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఆన్లైన్ క్లాసులు మొబైల్లో చూడడం అన్ఫార్చునేట్. సరే, మీరు ఏం చేయొచ్చు అంటే తర్వాత కూడా వీడియో క్లాసులు ఎలాగో ఐఎమ్ రికార్డింగ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్, ఐ విల్ పోస్ట్ దెమ్ దేర్. యూ కెన్ వాచ్ దెమ్ వన్స్ అగైన్, రైట్? సో you listen carefully, whatever you can understand and make it, you try, and after that you can go through the video sessions, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Okay. All right. So this is how you can easily, right, understand. For example, characters also you can easily see here. For example, unsigned characters or signed characters, it doesn't matter actually here. Here he is not giving you what is the corresponding character and all that. He only gives the number and the corresponding binary form. For example, 65 decimal is a capital A, and you ask it to convert to binary. So it is actually simple binary, decimal to binary representation. Hexadecimal 41, the number is going to be like this and so on. But had he given the corresponding character code or character also, it would have been better. But somehow he has not given that particular thing. But it's okay. So it's a good effort the person has given, like convert to binary here. All of you try once, spend some time, try to understand. This subject is very, very important to be a full-fledged programmer, full-fledged developer kind of thing. Okay, short integer means 16 bits you will get. You see here, here also you will get minus 17, for example. Again, we can try. The same thing now, instead of 32 bits, you will get 16 bits, right? So both the things you try to practice and then learn. I hope all of you must have understood reasonably to a certain extent at least, and then go through other material for some more understanding of that and so on. The next is actually, how do you represent real numbers? How do you represent real numbers? So far, we have represented, we know now how to represent characters by using ASCII notation. And how do you represent integer values? By using 2's complement notation. 2's complement notation. Now, real numbers, for example, how do we represent float data types? Float data type is represented by using by using IEEE 754 notation. IEEE notation. It is a standard actually. It is a standard about how a real number is actually represented. Let us actually take a look into that. How it is going to happen. Let us take a look into that. Okay, so this is a one of the what it is links that you can actually try to use it. The link what you can actually use is this one, Geeks for Geeks. What you can do is even on what you call Google, just simply search for IEEE 754. IEEE 754 notation. Whatever link that you get against Geeks for Geeks, click on that. Then you should be able to find out. Right? So other sites also you can easily understand and all that. I'm just showing one such example. And here you can see IEEE standard 754 floating point numbers. So this is how internally all the real numbers are going to be represented. Whenever you say float followed by f equal to 15.7. So how do you store that 15.7 internally? 15.7 also is stored by using a combination of zeros and ones. Right? And what is that logic? How are you going to store that information? While storing 15.7? And whenever you see a combination of zeros and ones, how do you understand what that value is? Right? That you can understand by using IEEE 754 notation. So let us see what this is actually. There are several ways to represent floating point numbers, but this is the most efficient and the most commonly used kind of thing. You see, remember, this is the common across all the languages. It has nothing to do with Java actually. Same notation is used even in C language, C++. Internally, all your real numbers are stored in this particular form. So whenever the corresponding sequence of zeros and ones is divided into three categories here. Is divided into three categories. One bit is will go for sign bit actually. Right? So like this. So floating point numbers, whenever you use float followed by f, it uses 32 bits again. Even for integer also it uses 32 bits. For real numbers using float, the data type float uses 32 bits. Whereas when you use double data type, that's also real number, all of you know it. Only thing is that you can represent even bigger values. You can represent even higher precision numbers using double data type. Notation is the same, but number of bits will change. That's why here single precision. Single precision means 32 bits. Double precision means 64 bits. So this is actually for float data type. So what are the three different areas? One is the sign bit. The sign bit is the most significant bit. If the sign bit is 0, it means that the number is positive. If the sign bit is 1, it means that the number is negative. The number is negative. And then exponent actually. For exponent, it uses 8 bits. And for representing mantissa, it uses 23 bits. Altogether, 23 plus 8 is 31 plus 1, 32. Mantissa means, all of you remember, the scientific notation. Even in decimal format, there is something called scientific notation. 1 point, let us say 15.6. 15.6 is there. Scientific notation can be represented in different ways, for example. Scientific. What do you mean by this? So whenever you say 157.8, this is normal way of writing it. But the same thing can also be written as 1 point, for example, 578 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 10 to the power what? So actually 10 to the power 2, let us say. 10 to the power 2. So this is also the same value. 1.578 into 10 square. Now, or it can also be represented as, for example, 0.1578 into 10 raised to the power 10 raised to the power 3. Right? This is also the same. All these three are representing one and the same value. One and the same value. The first one is a normal representation using real numbers and all that. The next two are scientific notations. So this is also sometimes represented as 1.578 E2, right? Like this you normally write E2. So this is written as 0.1578 E3. E stands for into 10 to the power, that kind of stuff. Exponent actually. E stands for exponent followed by 2. So in this case now, in the decimal format, this 0.1578 is called as the mantissa part. Mantissa part. And the 3 is called as the exponent part. This you are actually talking with respect to the decimal number notation. Same thing is there in binary notation also, 3 parts essentially. Sign bit, exponent bits, and mantissa bits. And mantissa bits. And mantissa bits. Only thing is, like we will come to that. First of all, all of you need to understand what is a mantissa. Mantissa is only the fractional part. Fractional part of the number is the mantissa. And whatever that you represent using powers and all that is your exponent. Is your exponent. Exponent value is 3 for this particular thing. Mantissa part is 0.1578 is the mantissa part. This is with respect to the decimal number representation. Okay. Now let us come back to our what you call Zeeks for Zeeks related link. Then you will understand. Right? So these are the things. So you are using basically 8 bits to represent exponent, 1 bit for sign bit, 23 bits for mantissa. But then given a number, how are you going to convert that into sequence of zeros and ones? Let us see that. It's going to be straightforward. You can see all these three are already, you must have understood what it means. Normalized mantissa, biased exponent and all that. Let us come to the terms. This is for like double precision, as you can see. Double precision is 64 bits. 1 bit goes for sign, 11 bits for exponent, and the remaining 52 bits for mantissa. So you have more bits for mantissa means your precision is going to be much better. That means even smaller numbers can be represented. Precision is going to be much better. Exponent is more means, more number of bits means the range, right? Bigger values or very smaller value can also be represented. Right? Only number of bits will change. And you can see here single precision, double precision, biased exponent. Right? So 8 bits, 32, whatever, all this. So this exponent is normally represented by is actually using a term called biased exponent. You have to pay attention to this biased exponent. Biased exponent is nothing but what is the bias value you need to ask. For single precision, you are using 8 bits. And whenever you use 8 bits, the bias is going to be 127. This 127 is nothing but actually 2 power 8 minus 1. 2 power 8. It is actually 2 power 7 minus 1. is actually 2 power 7 minus 1. So 1 bit goes for sign and all that. So when you are using 8 bits for the bias representation, the bias value is going to be 2 power 7 minus 1, 127. When you use 11 bits for biased exponent, the bias is going to be 2 power 10 minus 1, which is nothing but 1023. The bias is going to be this. In other words, if the exponent value is 1, if the exponent value is 1, it is represented as 1 plus 1023. 1 plus 1023. Anyhow, so you will get to know about by going through this particular explanation that is given over here. You can see here 85.125. This is what you want to represent, let us say. This is the number you want to represent. So, in terms of binary again, 85 you need to first represent, and 0.125 you have to represent separately. All of you are familiar with the conversion of decimal number 85 into binary form. And this is 1010101. Why is that? This is nothing but actually 64 plus 21. That means 64 plus 16 actually. 64 plus 16 is 80, and then 4 plus 1 is 5. So that's why 85 you can easily understand. But 0.125, how do you convert? Fractions part, if you want to convert into binary form, in the case of whole numbers, you keep dividing. Whatever remainder you get, that you write, right? For fractions, you keep multiplying. 0.125 into 2, multiply with 2, you get 0.25, and you write down a 0 there here. And then 0.25 into 2, you get 0.5, you get 0 here. 0.5 into 2, you get 1.0, so that 1 you are going to get it. I think I cannot go into even this particular form, but 0.125 is represented as 001. This is nothing but actually the first 0 is 1 by 2. Its weight is, the first one's weight is 1 by 2. This is 1 by 4, and this is 1 by 8. The weight keeps decreasing in that particular fashion. So 85.125 is represented in this particular form. This is 85.001. The same thing can now be represented as in scientific notation. Use a scientific notation and move the point, this point whatever that you have, to the leftmost. So when you are moving, like in the binary notation, whenever you move the decimal point to the left, the exponent you have to increase by 1. So by how many positions are you moving? This 10, 10, 10. So by 6 positions you are moving. So that's why it's going to be 1.010101 followed by these things also you are writing down as it is. Right? So 1 point, this point you are shifting into 2 raised to the power 6. So this number is equivalent to this number in scientific notation. And sign value of this 85.125 is 0. So sign bit is 0. Now you want to represent by using single precision biased exponent. What is the exponent here? Exponent value is 6 here. 2 power 6 you are saying. 6 is the exponent. So when you represent by using biased exponent, it is nothing but what is the bias value in single precision? It is 127. 127 plus 6, 133. That 133 converts that into binary form. You get this. So this is what you have to store in the exponent position. Single precision. How many bits? 8 bits. So all those numbers are there. Similarly, normalized mantissa. Normalized mantissa means you just bring it this by removing this 1. Because always you move this number, you write this number such that the leftmost thing is going to be a 1 here. A 1 is going to be in the form of 1 point something. You have to write it. So that this one need not be stored. Only this part only will be stored there as a part of it. So normalize means that. So move the point here, move the point to the leftmost until you get a 1 over there. So 1 point in the form of 1 point, always it's going to be represented. So that this 1 will not be stored because it is assumed 1 actually. So only this one is going to be stored now. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 and all that. And normalized mantis is this particular thing. 0, 1, 0, 1, all that. And we will add zeros to complete the 23 bits, as many number of this thing. So the corresponding thing, single precision, that number what we are actually thinking of is going to be 0. This is the sign bit. And this is the exponent. Exponent is 133 and the corresponding thing is this. And the normalized mantis is this by adding enough number of zeros to the right side. The same thing in terms of hexadecimal notation is represented like this. Hexadecimal means these 4 bits you have to consider. First one. This is 4 naturally. And then the next 4. Next 4 is going to be this. 2. 0, 0, 1, 0 is 2. And the next 4 is going to be this. 1, 0, 1, 0. 1, 0, 1, 0 is nothing but 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 in hexadecimal is A. 4, 2, A, 4, 0. So this is how what you call 85.125 is internally represented in this particular form by using single precision. Same thing if you want to represent by using double precision, you have to increase the number of bits and repeat this. Right? And repeat this particular activity. To go through this particular site once again, you should be able to follow it. It is a simple mechanism I have explained on top of it. Right? With that, you should be able to represent any number of your choice. Now to know whether we have understood that properly or not, this is going to be useful. For example, float here. You take any particular number. Okay. Let me take you to that particular thing. Let me explain by taking one random example. And then so that if at all any doubts are there, you should be dispensed with. So what can be a random example? Let me say, for example, 37 point, let us say, for easy purpose, we are going to take 37.75. 37.75. This one. So whenever you want to represent like this, first 37 and then 75. How do you represent 37? 37 is nothing but 32 plus 37 is equal to 32 plus 5. 5 is nothing but 4 plus 1. Right? This is how I normally do it. So this is nothing but you can easily represent 37 like this is 32, let us say, and then 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. So this is the actual number. Binary form. You are actually writing down in binary form. And then how do you write 0.75 separately? 0.75 in binary form you want to. This is actually by repeatedly multiplying with 2, you get that particular thing. So you multiply with 2, you multiply.
1.5.
It's actually 1, strictly speaking. So this is going to be 1.5. So that 1 is left here. And for the next time you will have 0.5 and multiply with 2, you get 1.0. And that is going to terminate actually. Here you will get 1. next line is going to be 0. So until 0, you'll have to do that. So 0, you got it. So it is nothing but 1, 1, actually, strictly speaking. So 0.75 is in binary form is nothing but 0.11. 0.11. Because it is nothing but 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4. The weight of this particular thing, the weight of this is 1 by 2 and the weight of this is 1 by 4. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 is 0.75. So that's why it is. So 37.75 can be written as 37.75 is nothing but in binary form. How do you write in binary form? 100 101.11. This is the actual number. This is how it is. Now the same thing is to be represented as scientific notation, right? So in the form of 1 point something. So scientific notation, whenever you go for, so it's going to be 1.00101 0010111, right? Multiplied by 2 raised to the power. By how many positions did we shift this point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 positions. So this should be into 2 to the power 5. So both are one and the same. 1.0010111 into 2 power 5 is equivalent to 100,101.11. Both are one and the same. Now we know that our mantissa is normalized mantissa, in fact. That 1 point is not going to be there. So your mantissa is 0010111. This is a normalized mantissa, in fact. That's how we normally call it. Normalized. Normalized meaning that you are actually bringing a 1 to the left of a dot. Only a single one. That is how it is always going to be represented. And then similarly, what is the exponent? The exponent, your exponent is 5 actually. So what is the corresponding 32-bit corresponding thing now? It is straightforward. So biased exponent, whenever you use the biased exponent, using 127 as a bias. So 127 plus 5 is nothing but 127 plus 5 is nothing but 132. And what is 132? How do you write 132 in 8-bit positions? 132 is going to be written as, right. So you have to convert. So 132 is nothing but 128 plus, right? 132 is nothing but 128. You have to write in powers of 2. 128 is a power of 2 actually, plus 4. So 4 is a power of 2. So naturally, this is how it is. And this can be represented as, if this is 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. So this should be your actual exponent. This should be your exponent actually. So the total number, how it is going to be internally represented is, first you have the sign bit, and then the exponent, and then the mantissa. Right? So what is the sign bit? It is a positive number, so 0. What is the exponent? Just now we have converted. 1 followed by 3 zeros, bits actually. Mantissa part. Normalized mantissa is already there. But you have to use all the corresponding things. So it is actually 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. And the remaining things you have to fill with appropriate number of zeros. As many number of zeros as required. Actually 8 plus 1 is 9. And the remaining 23 bits. So 23 bits we have to get. Right now we have 7 bits. So 7 means 23. How do you get? Another 15 zeros you have to fill. Another 15 zeros you have to actually have. 15 zeros. Same thing, better to actually represent in groups of 4. Let us actually represent. Then it becomes easy for us to understand and all that. Groups of 4, how will it become? It becomes 0, 1, 0, 0 is the first group. 0, 0, 1, 0 is the next group. 0, 0, this is over. 0, 0, 1, 0 is over. So 0, 0, 0, 1 is the next group. 0, 0, 0, 1 is the next group. Actually, you are actually converting. This is the first 4. The next 4 is this particular thing. The next 4 is this. Up to this. So next is 0, 1, 1, 1. Right? Next 4 is 0, 1, 1, 1. So another 15 zeros you should get. Are we missing anywhere? We'll have to be careful. Yes. So that's why probably we can copy this. So that we will not miss it by just simply merging with this particular thing. Then we can form groups of 4 very easily. The entire thing is a single entity. Only for our understanding, we are using this. Normalized matrix is 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Up to that is fine. Now you must have as many as 15 zeros is required. Zeros. 15 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is the actual number. Now that is to be formed into groups of 4. Now we should be able to easily insert a space at every place. So it's of course similar, like okay. Maybe exponent is how many bits? 8 plus 1, 9. Let's go back. Hmm. 8 to 23. 8 plus 1, 9, and 23 bits there. We should get 23 bits. అంటే 15 మనం క్యాల్కులేట్ చేయడం తప్పు చేసి ఉంటాం ప్రాబ్లం 16 రావాలి 23 కదా 23 అంటే ఇక్కడ 7 ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి naturally here it should be 16 here. Sorry. 16 zeros actually. So ఇక్కడ one more zero you require and here you require one more zero. So this is the actual representation of what are we representing? What is the number we are actually trying to? 37.75. 37.75 representation is going to be this. Single precision. Single precision is going to be this. Same thing using hexadecimal if you want. Groups of 4. This is 4 actually. And this is going to be 2. And this is 1. This is 7, and remaining things are 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. This is an hexadecimal, and all of them put together as a single entity. This is nothing but 0x 42170000. So this is the actual representation. Now we can verify our understanding with the online tool that we have. So 37.75, let us give it here. We have the tool here, right? So this is the one. This is a float. So number is 37.75 and convert to binary. So this is going to be internally represented as binary form is going to be this. This is the binary form. Sign bit is 0, exponent is this, mantis part is this. మనకేం వచ్చింది చూద్దాం. 0x 4217 followed by all that. So you see here 0x 4217 followed by all zeros. This is how you can actually verify your understanding. Right? So learn until whatever practice that it is actually making you to what it is match with this particular entity. Same thing for double this thing, you can easily go for. Right? I think all of you now with these resources, you should be able to have a reading of on your own and go through that. So we'll continue for the next session on the other topics and so on. But this is about different data types, how they are internally stored. Right? Even for images also you have different standards for storing. For example, GIF is there, JPEG is there, PNG is there. Those are all different formats. Ultimately, your images are nothing but pixels, right? A group of pixels, an array of or matrix of pixels. So there are certain standards there. Audio also, you have different codec standards, MP3, right? So AA4, so like that, there are different standards. So data representation is one of the very important topic, and one need to understand how they are internally represented. For complete understanding, all of you need to have it. If you have any questions, we can. Otherwise, we can close the session for today, and tomorrow, we will continue the remaining sessions. Any questions here? Any chart is there? So any issues there or questions you have? Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so anyhow, I will upload the video once again. You can just go through that, go through the corresponding links. Maybe the links also, I will try to give it in the, what I call the video corresponding thing, and practice that. And it is fast approaching the first mid examination. So study well so that you are going to do better. Okay, so I'm just logging out.
Soft copy for mid exam.
Huh?
Soft copy for mid exam.
Soft copy?
For mid exam, sir.
షెడ్యూల్ మీకు రాలేదా ఇంకా అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఎగ్జామ్ 15th ఎగ్జామ్ మాత్రం ఫౌండేషన్స్ ఆఫ్ కంప్యూటర్ సైన్స్ ఫర్ ఆల్ ద బ్రాంచెస్ రైట్ ఆన్ ద సేమ్ డే. సో తర్వాత సెకండ్ది ఇంకోటి ఉంది ఏదో. I will share it okay, so that you can. The other thing is School of IT website is there. On that also you must find the notifications.
ఎగ్జామ్ టైం టేబుల్ వచ్చింది సార్.
అదే అంటున్నాను, that's what I'm saying. So make it a habit. Probably even all of you have the WhatsApp groups. Most likely Suresh or Naveen must have posted also, right?
సార్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ కి 2 యూనిట్స్ ఆ 3 యూనిట్స్? ఎగ్జామ్ కి సిలబస్ 2 యూనిట్స్ 3 యూనిట్స్ సార్?
2 weeks,
ఎగ్జామ్ కి 2 యూనిట్స్ 3 యూనిట్స్ సార్
అదే చెప్తున్నా.
ఫస్ట్ మిడ్ కి?
అందుకే నేను యూనిట్స్ మాట్లాడలేదు కదా. ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ వీఆర్ కవరింగ్ ఇన్ ది క్లాస్,
ఓకే సార్.
right? So, and again, I will
Yes.
talk on that. Once again, next week I will talk on that. What is the pattern and how many questions, how difficult it will be and all that. So next week we will once again talk. It's not going to be on the actual units in the syllabus. So ultimately, like what we cover, only will be there, and we will spend some more time in the next week, right?
ఓకే సార్.
Right. So question papers
Thank you, sir.
previously అలాంటివి ఏం ఉండవు. So all of you have to actually what it is, go through the sessions, and if you follow all the sessions, programs, corresponding thing and so on, and if you can actually write independently the programs corresponding, that knowledge is good enough, right? Mostly, but you cannot by heart or remember the things. You have to understand, right? That's more important. Okay. All right then. So
సార్
Thank
మేము
you.
సెకండ్ ఫేజ్ లో జాయిన్ అయ్యాము.
Thank
మీ
you,
అన్ని
sir.
క్లాసెస్ అటెండ్ కాలేదు సార్.
huh? Hello.
సెకండ్ ఫేజ్ లో జాయిన్ అయ్యాం సార్, అన్ని క్లాసెస్ అటెండ్ కాలేదు మేము.
అందుకనే వీడియో సెషన్స్ ఉన్నాయి, కైండ్లీ గో త్రూ దట్, రైట్?
ఓకే.